Sports on Tap Detroit, brought to you by the Realtors of the Joe Wright Group, Jason Stiltner of Flagstar Bank, Time Out with Steven Scott, presented by Baldman Entertainment.
Buckle the fuck up.
It's time to play the game.
They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Time to play the game.
You can't let that shit happen.
You play to win the game.
If we take a fucking tight end, I quit!
Cannot win with him. Can't do it.
Time to play the game.
Welcome to Sports on Tap Game Day. I'm Chris Scott, alongside Joe Waddell and Frank Gigotta. Gentlemen, how are we?
I am fucking great.
It's week one, baby. Let's go.
It's week one. As Russ says, let's ride.
That's right.
That's right. Week one in the NFL. This is like Christmas morning for me.
I know. This is probably your favorite day of the year.
This is by far my favorite day of the year.
Nice.
Like, I know Thursday was a game, but it's
NFL Sunday.
It was a game.
Yeah.
This is the first NFL Sunday. It's the first time that you see your teams take the field. It's NFL action, and if you're talking fantasy, which we're going to do today, it's the first time you get to unwrap your presents. Right? You wait till Christmas morning. You got some gifts there that you picked out for yourself, and now you get to see how they're going to work out. And this is probably the last time you're going to look at your fantasy team and say, "I'm happy with this."
Right.
Completely. After the games start today, you're not going to be completely happy with your team, and that's just the fucking way it goes.
I mean, my team already took the field, and they gave me a pretty nice present on Thursday night.
Yes,
So
they did.
Like we talked about it on our regular show on Tuesday. That was a statement win. I said the Bills are going to come out with a statement win.
Yep.
It's exactly what they did.
It was a morning, Steve.
What's up, buddy?
Ready for some NFL action?
What?
I said good morning.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Dynamite dropping, Monty.
Good morning.
Good morning from Sports on Tap Detroit. Here on Game Day.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, shit. Let's dive in then. Let's go.
We're gonna dive into these games.
Let's
we
do it,
have,
man.
Week one, we have a lot of games to get into.
There's some
that's
fantasy info for you. We got betting info for you. You know, obviously, if you want to listen to us, great. If you don't, you're probably gonna lose. That's all I'm gonna say.
or sometimes you might be better off not listening to us. There's also that one.
No, that's wrong. No, no. Obviously, the betting thing. Like, you know, you're grown people. Do what you want. Like, if you listen to us, great. If you don't, that's fine. But if you lose, don't blame us. It is what it is. Okay.
And bet responsibly.
Yes, please bet responsibly. Don't bet money you don't have. That's just dumb.
Yes.
All right. Anywho, let's get into this first game. We're going with New Orleans taking on Atlanta. New Orleans is laying 5. Yeah.
Consensus is 5.5. They're 5.5 and 5, depending on where you look.
Yep.
You've got the best odds are -5.
Yep.
And that's at BetMGM and PointsBet. Caesars, DraftKings, and FanDuel have them at -5.5.
And the over/under is at 43.5.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't see that on here.
Click on the view matchup.
There you go. That would explain why I don't see it. Yeah, it looks like 66% of the money is on New Orleans minus that 5.5, which is the consensus.
Yep.
And then over 43.5 is actually only at 34%. Most people are betting the under in that game, which I do love. I think Atlanta's going to – listen, they signed Marcus Mariota. They're not going to have a huge passing attack, even though I have him pegged to be a breakout quarterback this year. Listen, their game plan is going to be run the ball, even with Marcus Mariota, because he's a running quarterback. They're going to do, they're going to do some RPOs and things like that. They're going to try and slow the game down, especially with not being able to outscore anybody. You're going to try to slow the game down, and we got to see how that New Orleans offense works out with Jameis Winston coming back from that injury.
Famous Jameis?
Yeah.
Eating W's?
Eating W's. eating them W's.
Yeah, I think that 5 is a little bit generous. I think this game's going to be a little bit closer than that's projecting.
Yeah, I do believe that myself. I personally am staying away from the spread in this one. If I was going to bet anything, I would definitely bet the under. I do like that in this game. I mean, if you want to bet the money line, 73% of the money is on New Orleans, but it's minus 230.
It's not even worth
So it's not worth doing that unless you're going to parlay it with some other, maybe a couple long shots or better bets. You parlay that in there, but
And if you have J.K. Dobbins, he is not playing today.
yes,
He wants to play, but they're holding him out another week out of precaution.
Well, and even when he comes back, that's we'll get into that game later. But even when he comes back, he's going to be brought back a little slow. I mean, you're not going to rush him back. He's projected to be their bell cow. You're not going to rush that guy back from knee injury.
Yes.
Yep. Anything you got on the betting side of this, boys?
No, the only thing I like on this is the under. I actually agree with you, Joe. I'm not a huge fan of the spread, and the money line is what it is, you know.
Yep.
Fantasy aspect. I think Winston can have a decent day today.
I think Winston's gonna have a decent season overall,
Right.
And then this is a good matchup for him,
Yeah.
right? I mean that Atlanta defense is not.
It's not great.
It's not the
Especially in
best.
Week 1.
Yeah,
With Week 1, everybody's getting off to a slower start. That's just the way it works. Everybody except for Buffalo. But
well, and defenses tend to start a little slower.
Right.
The offenses can take advantage of some rustiness, some preseason, doldrums. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, it's going to be an interesting game, though. That's one that I would like to watch.
I want to see how some things work out. So I love Kyle Pitts this year. I actually have him
Right.
pegged to be.
I have him on my team this year.
Yeah.
So
I
I
have
hope
him-
he has a huge game.
I have him. I wanted to get him in that league, and I just the bidding got a little above my price range for him. But I have him pegged to be the best tight end by the end of the season. So this is not really the best matchup for him.
Right.
If he gets off to a slow start, don't panic. But
Now I'm fucking trading him immediately.
yeah, in that case, I'll send you an offer right after we get off the show.
I was going to say, what do you want for him?
Yeah, I'll send you an offer. But this is not the best matchup for him. New Orleans can cover the tight end. New Orleans has good linebackers and safety play. Drake London is potentially going to sit out this game, which doesn't bode well for that offense
I did
either.
hear that, yeah.
So that could slow things down. I'm anxious to see how
Frank, that was your guy, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
I believe he is. Is he in my starting lineup still? I haven't touched it since. I haven't touched it since we drafted.
You may want to take a look at
Yep,
that.
that's
Might
what
wanna-
I'm jumping on right now.
Might want to look at that. There's some good things in this matchup I'm looking forward to seeing. I want to see how that backfield plays out in Atlanta. Is Cordero Patterson going to be, as I stumble over his name, is he going to be the
Who?
Cordero Patterson?
Corderell?
Corduroy.
Corduroy?
Corduroy Patterson.
I think we should just call him after
Corduroy Patterson.
Corduroy
Done.
Patterson.
Corduroy.
Done.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how Corduroy's going to do. Is he going to be the bell cow back? Is it going to be
He's like that Swiss Army knife guy.
Right.
Like, he just does everything.
like are they going to mix in
Like, I
some
don't even know how you classify him.
right? Like he's slash. He's
Slash.
He's what Cordero? What was it?
Corduroy.
Corduroy, but what's the
Corderell.
It was Stewart back in the day.
Yeah,
Played for
Cordell
Pittsburgh.
Stewart.
Cordell.
Yeah,
Cordell.
Cordell
Another
Stewart.
Corduroy Stewart.
Corduroy Stewart.
So he's kind of like that. He's the receiver. He's the running back. He's a slash back. He's an H back. He's he plays a bunch of different positions. So how are they going to utilize him? Are they going to play Darrell Williams? Is it Damian Williams or Darrell Williams? I think it's Damian Williams.
I think it's Damien.
And then how is the rookie Tyler Algier gonna figure in? Are they gonna bring him in slowly? By all accounts, he had a great preseason. So how's that backfield gonna pan out? And then the big question on the other side of the ball is Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
He
That guy.
you gotta take it with a grain of salt. I mean, sitting out a game with a hamstring is not necessarily a great sign, but again. Is it an actual injury? Did it just tighten up on him in practice, and they're just taking precautions with him because he's missed
That guy
so much
the past,
time?
2 years?
Yeah.
It's just been, I don't even know the word, like an enigma, I guess. Like, do you want to play football, or do
Right,
you just
like-
not want to play football for the Saints?
What are we doing here?
Like, I don't,
If he can come back healthy, I like him for the season. I drafted him in a lot of leagues late because the price on him was so good that I couldn't pass it up. Because if he if he is healthy.
Yeah.
And if he comes back and plays a full season, the price tag on him for where you were getting him in drafts was well worth it.
Right.
So I have a lot of stock in Michael Stewart this year, or Michael Thomas this year.
Who?
Corduroy Stewart.
Corduroy Stewart, Thomas, Patterson.
yeah.
What are we doing? Who knows?
So a lot of people don't feel the same about him, but I feel if he stays healthy for the season, he's a steal at where you got him from.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Up next,
Up next, go ahead, bud.
your boys, Cleveland taking on Carolina.
Taking on my other boy.
Taking on your other boy, taking on Baker. This game is basically a pick 'em. Literally, Cleveland's laying like half a point.
Yeah, it's
Basically a pick 'em.
yeah. It's consensus is a half a point. It's
Yeah.
anywhere from even to
Yes.
to 1.5. I mean, there's Cleveland is minus 1.5 on FanDuel.
Right.
They're plus 1.5 on MGM. Like it's across. It's weird.
That's why I've been clicking on just a view matchup.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
giving it
gonna look
straight
at, but
up.
I mean, it's just across the
It's
board.
weird.
It's a weird.
Yes.
It's a weird trend there.
The over/under is at 42. 68% of the money is on the under on that one,
I like that.
and 78% of the money is on the money line for Carolina at minus 110. It's not horrible.
No, I actually have Carolina in this game money line. It's just the fact that Cleveland's starting Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
I just don't trust Jacoby Brissett. I mean, how can you? I just don't. I don't know. It's just one of those gut feelings, I guess. This being a pick'em game for this is makes sense.
I mean, I would absolutely stay away from the spread on this one.
Oh,
100%.
Absolutely, I would.
I do actually like the under on this though at 42.
I agree with that.
I do. I will say this. I think Baker's actually going to have a good game. I do. Fantasy wise,
Right.
I think he's going to have a good game because I think he's got that chip on his shoulder for this game.
You can't factor that into most things. When somebody has a chip on their shoulder, that changes everything.
It absolutely does. So I think he's going to come out and he's going to have a big game. Now, who else has a big game in this? I don't know.
So I do like DJ Moore in this game. If Baker's going to have a good game, it means DJ Moore's going to have a good game, right? And Denzel Ward across the ball from him, guarding him is Steve. Never thought I'd hear Joe say staying away from a spread. Oh, wow. Ouch. So back to Cleveland and Carolina.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Well played, sir.
So I like DJ Moore in this one. So Denzel Ward across the ball from him is not a great matchup for him, but Denzel Ward does not pan out to following him around the field. So if DJ Moore is on one side, he can, or if Denzel Ward is on one side, DJ Moore can move to the other side. Like they can move him around and get him away from Denzel Ward because he's not going to follow him.
Oh, big surprise. J.J. Watt is injured. Crazy.
That's a shocker.
Fucking Christ.
So I do like that matchup here. I love CMC in this game, and I know. Listen, Chris, you're not with me on this one. I don't know if Frank is or not. I love CMC in this game. First of all, if you're worried about his injury history in the rest of the season, I get it. But he's coming into this game healthy, And
when he is healthy, he's one of the best.
No,
backs
and that
in the
that I absolutely agree
Right.
with. When he is healthy,
yeah, all 3 games out of the year.
right, exactly.
Yeah. See, and I like was it Rad Evil? Who is that?
That's Andrew.
That's Andrew. And I like Andrew's comment here. He says Baker is going to have a great game. CMC is getting 10 receptions.
I can see that.
I
can absolutely see
absolutely agree with you on that one. In this one, CMC is going to have a huge game in this one. I've put him in. He's expensive, but I put him in a lot of DFS this week because I just believe he's going to have such a big game.
And you just look at the way Baker used Kareem Hunt. It's
And Chubb.
And Chubb, yes.
And
but-
Chubb's not even really receiving back, but
right, but that's why I didn't mention
Yeah.
Chubb. But with the way things are working out with Baker's career, those running backs are so valuable in his offense.
Yep. I absolutely agree with you. Now, overall, I don't have Baker rated high on fantasy this week. He's not in my top 10 or 15. It's just not the case. But
I think if you're your second quarterback,
if you're in a 2 quarterback league, he's your second
Yep.
quarterback. This is a week to play him.
Yep.
I like him better football wise than I do fantasy wise. I think hopefully he's matured and he's going to lead that team a little bit. But Baker's never really been a huge fantasy stat guy, even in Cleveland.
Right.
So even when they were winning and they won 11 games, went to the playoffs, that he wasn't really a huge fantasy quarterback. So I don't necessarily think that's a great play, other than maybe a contrarian play in DFS, and if he's your second quarterback, like you said.
Right.
Who do you got in the Browns?
Nick Chubb. That's about it. I think you're going to see a lot of Nick Chubb today. You're going to see a shit ton of Nick Chubb today. They're going to
see any
They're
Chubbs.
going to run they're going to shove Chubb down Carolina's throat. Is what they're going to do. That's exactly what's going to happen.
All right, then. Sounds great.
Dynamite drop in, Monty.
Oh man. All right. Moving on.
Yeah, but I've got Nick rated within my top 10 or 12 this week. I think you're going to see a lot of him for sure.
All right. Yeah, and honestly, I don't doubt that, because I think that's exactly how the Browns are going to try to piece this together until they get the fucking sexual predator back.
Well, and just one more thing on CMC. I mean, you guys kind of hit on it. Like, when he's healthy, he's the best guy in the game. When he's healthy, he's played 26 total games out of 49 in the last 3 years. So he's missed 23 games in the last 3 years.
It's not great.
Nope. But he's averaged 26.1 fantasy points per game overall, total.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor had a career year last year. You know what he averaged?
No.
22. A solid 4 points lower than CMC averages when he's healthy.
Really?
Yep. So I think he's a fantastic play today. I think I like him for the season. I think he's going to stay healthy.
All right.
That's kind of not the consensus, but
is
that's
not
where
the
that's where I
consensus.
stand on it, and I'm going to stand on that soapbox until something
Until he gets hurt. Which,
until something changes.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we got the Niners going to Chicago in that dumpster of a fucking stadium, Soldier Field, taking on the Bears.
The Bears.
San Francisco was laying 6.5. The over/under is at 40.5, and the money line favors the 49ers. 75% of the money. The Niners minus 286. Now, before we get into this at all, fantasy aspect and whatever, it's pouring like crazy in Chicago.
It's
right
a
now.
monsoon.
It's a monsoon in
Sure
Chicago.
is.
So
take that into account with your, however you want to, set up your fantasy team.
and so with real game script, we'll talk about that for a second. I like San Francisco this game.
And I've tuned out already.
Wait, what?
I said, and I've tuned out. Real game script.
Oh, well. And Chris is asleep. No, I think the weather bodes well for San Francisco in this game.
I do too. I absolutely
do. They're going to run the ball. They're a run the ball team. The schemes that Shanahan comes up with to run the ball.
Yeah. Holy shit! It is really fucking raining there.
Favor
Yeah,
them.
it
Yeah,
is.
we're looking at it right now.
Good lord.
Literally a monsoon. I mean, it's just they're just soaking wet. Like everything is. But yeah, so I think it favors San Francisco in this game. I like them even minus 6.5, which is a lot. I like San Francisco in this game.
I do as well, because honestly I think the Bears are going to go defeated this entire season. They're
going to go what?
defeated.
Oh,
You ain't gonna get an argument here.
I think the Bears are fucking atrocious. I think they're going to be absolutely horrendous this year.
I think they're going to be better than you think they will. I'm not saying they're going to be good, but I don't have them pegged as one of a couple teams to go winless.
Fair enough.
But
I mean,
listen.
actually, let me rephrase that. I don't
Yeah.
think they're going to go defeated, because they're going to beat the Lions twice. But
I fucking love it.
I think that's a terrible football team, and even though I have Debo on my fantasy team,
Right.
I think he's going to have a big day today, because I think they're just going to feed him the rock.
They're going to feed him. They're going to
Oh,
feed.
yeah.
They're going to feed Eli Mitchell.
Yeah.
That backfield and Debo are going to be running the ball constantly. And listen, so is Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Trey Lance is a running quarterback. They're going to have some RPOs. Trey Lance is going to get you some points today, even with this monsoon.
Yeah.
Because they like scheming things down low for him. You saw it last year. He can get a couple of he can even get 2 goal line touchdowns. Or
I think
two
he's going to do a lot of design runs for him.
Yeah,
Yep.
and they're gonna that offense is gonna change based on what it was last year with Jimmy G as opposed to what it's gonna be with Trey Lance. And even in this monsoon, I think you're gonna see him get some points today.
Like looking at the spread and the over/under, I don't like any of this. Like I wouldn't touch this game at all.
I like San Fran even with that -6.5. It's a lot, but I still like it. And the under in this game, I think you take the under this game, no problem.
The only thing I would even remotely go near is the under on this.
And the under is low. It's like 40.5?
40.5.
And I would absolutely take the under in this game.
With the way the weather is, yeah.
I mean, listen, even the Lord is not on the side of points in that game. That's just the way it is. I mean,
It's what they call easy money, most likely.
yeah. Yep. And
but you see, like a lot of people went with the under on this one at 68%. So
yeah. Yep. And fantasy-wise, you're looking at I do like Trey Lance in this game. Listen, if you drafted him high to be your number one, you got to play him. This matchup with the weather isn't necessarily on your side, but he could still get a rushing touchdown here. He's going to get some rushing yards. You're going to get some extra points out of him that you wouldn't get out of another quarterback in this scenario. So I do like him in this game. I like Justin Fields overall as a
Frank, how do you feel about Justin Fields?
in a 2-quarterback league. I like him as another quarterback. I think he's going to have some good games this year. I think he's going to show progress this year. I know Frank completely fucking disagrees with me there. I think
his hatred for him is real, man.
I know. See,
it's like my hatred for Carson Wentz.
So my hatred for the coach that was there before.
Yes.
Matt Nagy.
That was Adam Nagy.
I thought it was Adam Nagy. Well, yeah, Adam Nagy. Sorry, is real, and that guy did everything he could to set up Justin Fields to fail. And I think this
he succeeded.
He did.
He absolutely succeeded.
He succeeded.
But here's a stat for you that you probably don't know, and you're going to tune out. Four out of the last 5 games last year, Justin Fields was technically a starting quarterback fantasy-wise. He was in the top 12.
Okay.
4 out of the last 5 years last year. So he showed progress towards the end of the season. I think this new coaching staff is going to set him up to succeed, not to fail.
I didn't really think he was going to regress at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you hate the guy, so you. But I mean, if Justin Fields is a shit quarterback, you wouldn't think he'd be technically a fantasy-wise, he wouldn't be a starting quarterback, but he was. He was in the top 12 last year, 4 out of the last 5 weeks. So he technically was a starting quarterback in a 12-team league.
By stats, yes, technically he was.
Yeah. So
by the eye test, I wouldn't touch him with a fucking 10-foot pole.
I can tell you, I think you're going to be surprised with him this year. That coaching staff is going to set up to succeed.
And Frank's head is going to explode because of it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's going to be exactly like I was yesterday.
Oh, that's right. Notre Dame lost, right?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, that happened.
Who'd they lose to?
Marshall.
They
okay.
lost to a team coached by Matthew McConaughey.
Gotcha. Oh, another note in this game, by the way, George Kittle is probably not going to play. Has he been ruled out yet?
Not yet. I saw him. They just showed it. Him arriving to the stadium on ESPN. Looks like he's going to play.
He's there. Another thing for this game, I do like David Montgomery in this game. Not necessarily season long. Like him in this game. It's a monsoon. They're going to have to hand the ball off.
Yeah.
I like him to get the majority of the carries there.
Anybody with rushing potential could potentially be worth it today.
Yeah, in that game for sure. Yep. All right, what's next, bud?
Next up, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Ohio, the fucking worst state, most useless state, period, taking on the Cincinnati Bungles. Cincinnati's laying 7.5. The over/under is at 44.5. 84% of the money line is going to the Bengals at -335, so that's fucking useless. I would stay away from the spread. I think the Steelers are going to win.
Really?
I do.
Wow.
Let's ride part 2.
I'm all over Cincy in this game.
Okay.
I'm.
And I would. And the over/under. I would stay away from the over/under on this one. It's too close. Like the money line, most of the money is going to the over at 55. I don't know. I'd stay away from the.
44.5.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily strongly feel one way or another. If you had to press me, I would take the over.
I would too.
Based on the fact that both these teams have weapons on offense.
Yeah.
It's a matter of how they're going to be utilized on Pittsburgh is the one question I have. But Tomlin seems to get the best out of players when you don't expect them to. So
I said the only reason why I think Pittsburgh's going to win this game is I think their defense is going to be sneaky good.
yeah,
I really do.
Okay. I was going to say, there's no way that offense is going to be what carries them.
Oh, hell no. After I saw that video
Yeah.
of Mitch this morning that you sent me on Instagram, holy shit, man. Like, there's no way this team is making the playoffs if that dude's your starting quarterback. But
Do you feel the same about Russ?
I fucking hate Russ Wilson. I really do. He's such a dork.
And Joe, for your information, I know you don't participate in the Instagram, but Mitch Trubisky also did a Let's Ride video.
He did. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, well, Steelers are fucked until Kenny Pickett starts.
but you still like him in this game.
I do.
All right.
I do. Hey, one game does not equal a playoff appearance.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Fantasy wise, what do you got anything big in this game?
Obviously, if you got Najee, yeah, Jamar Chase, Burrow. I don't think there's anything like sleeper-wise that kind of jumps off the page to me in this one.
No, I'm curious to see how this is going to work out. Apparently, they're going to play Chase Claypool at slot, which he is a large
Speaking
receiver.
of guys I hate, fuck, that guy,
Yeah.
that guy's a clown.
I mean, what is he, 6'4"? I mean, he's gonna tower over most slot corners. He's got the size advantage over him, and I mean, he's fast, so that could pan out. I'm anxious to see how that's going to play out.
I don't ever remember him being used in the slot.
Nope, but apparently this year they're going to use him in the slot big time.
Like, not even in college.
Yeah, apparently that's what their idea for him this year is.
Well, alrighty then. Bold strategy, Con.
Yeah. Looks like Deontay Johnson logged a full practice on Friday, so it looks like he's good to go.
I can see
So,
him having a decent game.
I like Deontay Johnson for the year. We'll see how it's going to go against the Cincinnati defense, who played very, very well last year. But I think this one could possibly be a little bit of a semi shootout. So he can get some points. I love Najee, like you said. Like he's a snap drawing machine.
Mm-hmm.
Like that dude is he never leaves the field. Passing down, rushing down, that dude is out there. So he's gonna get everything out of that backfield.
And with the question mark at quarterback, yeah, I think Najee is going to be the safest play possibly in that game.
Who's that?
Najee.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I do like Joe Mixon on the year. Not necessarily in this game, but he does get receptions. So if you got him, you got to play him. But maybe temper expectations.
Yeah.
It's Joe Burrow's first game back from missing what do you have appendectomy surgery.
Yeah, something like that.
So we'll see if he's comes out rusty. What's going to happen there? But that receiving core are top notch when they're on their game. So you're not sitting any of them, but maybe again, like I said, temper expectations. See what's going to come out of this.
Yeah, I'm starting Burrow this week, and I'm not going to say the expectations are super low, but when you're coming off of something like that, especially if you're going to take a couple of hits, which you are from Pittsburgh's defense, yeah, don't expect a whole lot out of Burrow this week.
Right.
Yes.
Yep. What game is next?
Eagles, Lions.
Woo!
Now,
That's right.
now, when we talked about this game on Tuesday, there was no line, and then Wednesday, the line came out. And it was the Eagles laying 3.5.
Yeah.
It's now at 5.5 for the Eagles. I got in on it at 3.5.
So did I.
Nice. So yes, the Eagles are laying 5.5, and a big portion of the money is on that at 68%.
I would take them at 5.5.
Fair enough. But I'm happy I got it at 3.5.
You and me both, but I would still take them again at 5.5.
The over/under is at 48.5. A big chunk of the money is on the under with this one, and then the money line. People are basically betting the Eagles to win. Money line's at minus 225, and 73% of the people are taking that. So
Yeah. I love Philly in this game. I take a minus the 5.5.
I say
took
you
a
know how
minus
we feel
3.5.
about the spread on this one.
Yeah.
I'm with you 100. I took this earlier in the week. I'm like, yep. I have a feeling the spread's going to go up.
I mean,
I might
on
as well take it out.
Tuesday we had it as a pick 'em, right?
Yeah.
And then it jumped up to minus 3.5.
Nope.
and then now it's up to -5.5.
I would like to take credit for that line moving because when we mentioned it, it was even.
It literally, it literally said no line. We're like,
Well,
that's fucking weird.
We'll call that the SOT bump.
There we go.
Yeah, it's I mean, I'm taking Philly in this game all day. Call me a Lions hater if you want to, but I think some people are just drinking that Hard Knocks Kool-Aid.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit too much. Listen, is the team going to be improved in Detroit?
Yes.
Are they going to be improved so much to beat what we consider a playoff team and what you two consider to be a Super Bowl team? Mm-hmm. And I'm almost there with you. Like, it was between them and San Fran for me. So, like, I can't even call you guys out and say you guys think they're a Super Bowl team, and I don't.
I mean, you said it that way, though.
Well, yeah, but
That's exactly
I did,
how he
but-
said it.
but you're right. I did.
think you two.
Well,
I would
officially,
never.
officially, you guys. I think they're going to win that division. I think they are a contender for the Super Bowl for sure. You two picked them over, and I picked San Francisco. The two Utes.
It's like
The
saying
two of Utes.
you people.
You people. You people picked
I'm
them.
offended.
Triggered, man. Triggered.
But listen. They're going to be better. They're not going to be that much better. I'm sorry. That team on paper, if you really truly look at it, is not a playoff contender. They're not. Will they beat a team they're not supposed to? Yeah.
Yeah, they do that every year, though.
Do I think it's this team? No.
They do that every year.
Yep.
They beat a team
They
they're
do.
not supposed to beat.
Absolutely. I've been there live for one of those games.
If they want a fighting chance in this game, one, Ford Field has to be Chicago Bears Monday night type allowed.
Oh, we were at that game. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
That place was loud as
Oh,
fuck,
yeah.
man.
If that place can get that loud, I think that it starts shifting in their favor and get on them early.
Frank, we were there for the New England game. Was it Sunday night? It was a
Yeah.
Sunday night game. I mean, that place was loud as hell, and they beat New England. I mean,
That's why I said if you can get that place rocking like that and you can get things moving real quick, real early, get out to a nice lead like in the first half, I think you have a fighting chance. Anything outside of that, you're losing this game.
Yeah. No, I like Philly in this game big time, even when at the -5.5 at this point. I'll take it.
I'm just happy we got it in at 3.5. That's awesome.
You and me both, brother. I'm thinking about taking them again at -5.5.
There
Just
you
saying
go.
fuck it. But I actually like the over in this game because I believe even if Philly wins this game, last year proved Detroit can put on some points late, right? So even if they don't.
Garbage time.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to put some garbage time points up even if they're trailing big time in this game. So, and if they're trailing big time in this game, it means Philly's offense is plugging along and they're scoring points. So
Right.
that over, what is it, 48?
Yeah,
48.5.
48, yeah, I'll take the over in that game.
Good Lord, Eli
Absolutely.
Manning looks like such a goober.
He is. He is. I'm like
Such a
talk
goober.
about somebody you can't stand. It's him for me.
He looks like such a goober.
Is that a part or a bald spot?
I don't know what's going on here, man. He looks like such a dork.
It's a bald spot. He parted his bald spot.
Oh my god.
But
Like Rex Ryan looks like he's got a full head of hair compared to him, and Rex is thin and bad.
Yeah, big time.
so fantasy wise, what do you look at in this game?
I mean,
I'll let
not
you.
much.
I'll
I
let
mean,
you go first.
I think Hurts is going to have a decent day. I don't think he's going to have a massive day, but I think he's going to have a decent enough day that he's going to get you some points. One of those receivers, whether it be Devontae Smith or AJ Brown, I'm going to go Devontae Smith personally.
I think today it'll be Devontae.
I think Devontae's going to have a big day.
I don't disagree. I think they're both going to have a big day. The only thing I disagree with is Hurts not having a huge day.
Fair.
I think that whole offense is going to have a big day. I love A.J. Brown. I love Devontae Smith. Listen, you're looking at them facing guys like Jeff Okudah and Awarie. I see them beating those matchups all day, every day. And Jalen Hurts, you look at him, what he did last year. If you're just looking fantasy-wise, now he's got to improve real life-wise.
Right.
Right? But if you look fantasy-wise, 21.4 fantasy points per game last year was 6th among all quarterbacks, right behind Patrick Mahomes at 22.
Right.
So
And we are all high on Jalen Hurts.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
We think he's going to have. We think he's going to break his breakout year
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, I love him this year. You guys love him this year. We're all in unison on that one.
Yeah.
And I think it starts today. And I think A.J. Brown, listen, that team has a new toy. And they're gonna use that new toy.
Yeah.
They're gonna use it, and he's gonna get a lot of points today, I believe. But so will Devontae Smith, because A.J. Brown will open things up for him.
And just to defend the Leos a little bit, because that's my job here. Yes, I am fully aware that Jeff Okudah has been training in the offseason with some of the best trainers you could possibly get. But until that guy actually shows he can play football, I have no reason to think that he's going to be anything other than what he's been. Like, I don't mean to slam on the guy or whatever, but yes, Jeff Okudah is still a joke as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
I mean, you got to prove it.
Right.
You got to prove it. I mean, we talk about it all the time, right? Like, you got to prove it. It's the same thing we talked about with CMC. You got to prove you can stay healthy.
Exactly.
You got to prove it. And until that happens, you're going to have plenty of doubters. On the other side of the ball, I like the Lions' passing attack today, because I think they're going to be playing from behind the whole game.
Mm-hmm. Garbage time, baby.
Yeah, listen, fantasy-wise, those points don't go away just because they get
1
put up
point's
in
1
garbage
point.
time.
I'm in Rouse St. Brown, man.
Yeah, St. Brown. Listen, I even like Hawkinson in this game a little bit.
Yep.
I don't necessarily like him long-term or over the season. Last year, he kind of proved to me that he's not really the on the level of guys like, Kelsey and Andrews and Pitts. Like, he's just not that standout guy to me. He hasn't really showed. He showed it in one or two games last year, and that was it.
And don't get me wrong, I'd rather have him than a lot of other tight ends. But no, he's not anything spectacular.
He's not elite. He hasn't
Right.
showed he can be. And like, people still think he can be.
Well, yeah, because you want to think that the guy you drafted at fucking 10 overall or whatever it was is going to be another world type of player.
I mean, at some point, he's been in the league long enough. Either
What is this, 3 years,
Either-
4 years now?
4.
you're gonna be the guy, or you're not gonna be the
Yeah,
guy.
either you're the guy or you're not.
Right.
And at this point, he's kind of showed he's really not.
Right. You're
And,
nice.
I mean, Lions fan will have you believe different.
Right. He's elite.
Yeah,
Now,
he's
I
elite.
mean,
Okay.
the Lions had 0 players on the top 100 out of the peers. I'm just saying.
As it stands right now, there are only 2 in that position that are elite. And no, it's not Kyle Pitts. If he proves it this year, I will call him elite. But you got Kelsey, and honestly, right now, Andrews.
Kittle is when he can stay
I
healthy.
would like to say Kittle.
when
Kittle was gonna
when
be
he's
my
healthy,
2.
when he's healthy, he's the best. To me, when he's healthy, he's the best overall tight end in the league. If you're talking blocking and receiving,
Right. Yeah.
and everything.
When you're not talking just fantasy
Right.
numbers. And on top of that, I think with Trey Lance, he's going to end up being a lot more valuable because I don't think Trey's arm's going to be what
But-
people were expecting it to be.
But again, with Kittle, it's like
Healthy.
at this point we call him brittle because he can't stay healthy.
Right.
When he got that big contract, it went downhill for him because he
Mm-hmm.
was like, he literally came out and said, "Good, now I can go out and hit people." No, motherfucker, that's not what. No.
But how often does that happen? Like,
well-
honestly, I'm sweating it out with Waller right now. Waller signed yesterday, and I'm like,
Oh, that- yeah, all
shit,
that new
I
money?
was
Yeah.
really hoping that he was coming out with a chip on his shoulder this year.
Yep. It's but with Kittle, it was he was fresh to go. He got that money, he got paid, so he was ready to go out there and just go all out.
Right.
Which is great. But he went all out in areas where you're like, as a fantasy player, you're like, no, man, no, that doesn't give me points. What are you doing?
Yes, great block. Why'd you do it?
Why? But with Detroit, getting back to that, I like the passing game in this one.
Yeah.
And that includes Swift.
Yeah.
Because he receives out of the backfield. I like him in this game. I think he's going to get, again, garbage time points count. So, other than that, I mean, you're hoping for garbage time with them in this game. So,
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to sit here and say that they have anything more than a fighting chance, but
I mean, listen,
you've got like a 10-minute window to get on them.
They do have a fighting chance because the Lions have proved, like we said, they can beat teams they're not supposed to. Do they have a fighting chance? Yes. But
Every
everything
team in the NFL has a fighting chance.
exactly.
It's the NFL.
Exactly. I mean, how many upsets have we seen in the last 3 or 4 years that we were like,
the last
what the
24
fuck?
hours.
It's-
Right. But we're like, what the fuck?
It's
You know,
the-
I mean,
it's the NFL, like-
it's the NFL.
Yeah.
It can happen.
Every team, even like the worst team, is like good. You know,
Mm-hmm.
That's just
So
the
wait,
NFL.
did you inadvertently just call the Lions good?
Yes, because it's the NFL.
I just wanted to get that on record.
That's why you don't see. This is honestly why you don't see a ton of blowouts. You really don't.
No.
So,
No.
anywho, moving on to the next game, we got the Colts taking on the Texans. Indianapolis is laying 7. 55% of the money is on that. The over-under is at 45.5 with 64% of the money on that. And then the money line heavily leaning toward the Colts, minus 335 with 83% of the money on that.
I wouldn't necessarily touch this line.
I wouldn't do anything with this line at all.
I like the over in this game because, again, we just talked about in the last game, Houston, they're capable of putting up points in garbage time.
Yep.
So if Indianapolis is going to be a good team this year. They've got arguably the one or two best running back in the league, depending on how you feel about that. They have Matt Ryan, who is an upgrade over Carson Wentz from last year, even though he's like 52 and has a walker. They have Michael Pittman Jr. They have receivers who can get open. I think this offense is going to be good, and if they get out to a big lead, Houston can score some points in garbage time. I mean, Davis Mills proved last year that he may not be the best quarterback in the league, but he can sling for some yards, and he can hit the open receiver. So
on that team, he's got an argument to be a number one quarterback. I wouldn't call Mills a number one quarterback in most systems,
Right.
but in Houston, he is definitely their QB1.
Yep, I like the over. Other than that, I don't like anything betting in this game.
I don't like anything in this game, period.
Yeah, reasonable.
I personally wouldn't touch anything on this, but that's just
That is reasonable.
fantasy-wise. What are you looking at fantasy-wise? I mean, obviously, if you have Jonathan Taylor, play him. If you don't, you're just dumb.
Yeah. So, and I just lost this game on my list here that I had out. So I mean, Jonathan Taylor, you have to play him. I actually really love him in this game overall. So much so that I paid up for him in DFS as well. There was some DFS I played with both CMC and Jonathan Taylor, which meant I had to downplay at other positions.
Wow.
So I love those two running backs this week overall. I think they're going to have great week ones. So I was willing to downpay at a few other positions to put that in my lineups via cash game and even some GPP. Michael Pittman, we'll see how that offense works out. You're starting him, and I'm hoping for the best because Matt Ryan is a better quarterback than who?
And Carson Wentz?
Carson Wentz,
Yes, he is a better quarterback than Carson Wentz.
So
Even the corpse of Matt Ryan is a better fucking quarterback than Carson Wentz.
yes. On the other side of the ball, listen, Dameon Pierce is. I don't think I've seen anybody skyrocket up draft boards like Dameon Pierce did. Like he was in the 80 to 100 range as far as like draft position, and then he shot up to like the third round. Like that was one of the most drastic changes in average draft position for a fantasy player I've seen happen in the offseason. It was just insane. It got to the point where he was being drafted at places, and I like him for the year. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I don't love him for the year. I think Rex Burkhead is there. He's going to take some receiving away from him. That's basically the two running backs they have. So they trust Rex Burkhead enough that he had more carries last year than he's had in any other year, period.
Yep.
They trust him enough. And for Dameon Pierce to shoot up draft boards to where he shot up to, I'm like, are you guys fucking insane?
There was definitely some bidding in our draft for that guy.
There was. I got him for $20. Like, that was about my limit.
Right.
I wanted him overall for a year long, but like
Right.
Breece Hall, who I don't like as much, went for $26.
Yeah.
Like, I feel okay with the value I got in an auction league.
Yep.
Average draft position in a fucking league, he was up to like third and fourth round. I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm taking him in the third or fourth round. That's way too expensive.
All you fantasy people, do an auction league. It's so much more fun. It really is.
Oh, it is. It's way more fun.
I just completed my first one last weekend. It's so much more fun. It is. You see the guys you're drafting with, and you see these idiots just like keep rising the price of like certain players.
It's so
and you
much
just look
fun.
at each other. You're like, what the fuck are these idiots doing? But no, it's significantly more fun. 100%. At least that's my opinion anyway.
No, I would agree with you. It's one of the only leagues I do anymore is the auction league.
Yeah.
Like I do a snake draft with some friends from high school just because.
Right.
But no, when it comes down to it, I will do an auction league over a regular snake draft.
I just feel like it's not to mention. I feel like you have more control over
Yep.
like the players that you get. You know,
You do. You have control over your players
instead
that
of
you
having
get.
to wait till like players fall to you, just hoping that players fall to you.
You're willing. I mean, you're able to set a price for your
Yeah.
guys, and some of the guys you want you don't get because you're not willing to go over that bidding price. But in the end of the
Some
day,
of them, in that moment, it's like, okay, do you want them bad enough? Because you're gonna have to go higher than you wanted to.
some guys you overpay for because you do want them on your
Right.
team. You really think they're going to be great this year. And listen, I'm a big proponent of I will in an auction draft, I will overpay for the guys I am in love with for the season. Done. That's just the way it goes. Like guys like Justin Jefferson. I mean, he was my keeper in that league, but Jonathan Taylor. There's certain guys you're willing to overpay for
Yeah.
because you just know they're going to have big seasons. And then you adjust your lineup after that. You're like, all right, I have this much to spend now. Now this is where I look down my list and I see where's the value guys I can get
Right.
for the amount of money I have left, and where's my targets that maybe wouldn't fall to me in a snake draft. Where's the guys I can bid a little bit on and get them?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that are going to overplay their value.
And you pick your spots.
Absolutely.
You don't, when you come out, you don't have to go Jonathan Taylor, first guy.
Nope.
You fucking put Justin Tucker out there.
Yep.
I did love that.
Yeah.
It's like, literally, you just nominate anybody you want.
Yep.
Like, anybody.
Your first overall pick could be the most irrelevant guy in the
Lions
draft.
defense.
Yeah.
You know?
As long as you're cool with paying whatever you said,
Yes.
it's yours.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we got sidetracked on that. But yes, I do recommend doing an auction draft if you.
I'm actually really glad you enjoyed it that much.
I did. It was fun, man.
Because the auction draft, I'm in 6 leagues this year. I said I was going to drop some, and I didn't. I added one, which I'm just a fucking idiot. So I'm in 6 leagues. Only one is auction,
Yeah.
and it's the most fun draft.
It is.
Out of all of them. And I enjoy the other leagues I'm in. I've been in them a long time, other than my work one. All the other leagues I've been in a long time. I do enjoy getting together with the guys. I enjoy the drafting of it, just not as much as the auction draft.
And with this auction, I really do feel we just got the right group of people too.
Yeah, it's a good group of dudes. Yeah, it was fun. It's been fun every year we've done it, other than the year where we had COVID and we didn't get together and we did a snake draft, and that was shitty.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so on to Houston.
I was gonna say, but we did it.
But we did it. On to Houston. I do like the passing attack in this one. I actually like Rex Burkhead more than I do Damian Pierce in this game because the game script is going to kind of go towards Houston having to pass the ball.
Oh, absolutely. That's talk about garbage time stats.
Yep. Cooks, Burkhead, even
Stat Padford, baby.
Yep. Even Nico Collins. I threw Nico Collins in a couple. So that was where I spent down
Okay.
on some of my DFS is in wide receiver position, and Nico Collins is one of them I threw in there in a couple of them because I think they're going to have to pass a lot. Nico Collins is basically the second option in that offense now. You're going to have to throw the ball, so he can come up with some garbage time points and get you some DFS wins, some money.
That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah.
They don't ask how; they ask how many.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Yep.
Next up, Patriots, Dolphins. Miami is laying 3.5. The over/under is at 46.5, with a ton of money on the under on this one at 83%, and 63% of the money is Dolphins money line at -170. The spread is pretty even. 53% of the money is for the Dolphins. Honestly, give me the Dolphins in this one.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Minus the 3.5. Give me the Dolphins. In this one.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
I took the Pats on this one.
Really?
Yeah.
I love Miami in this game.
I do too.
Listen, Matt Patricia calling the offense.
That's exactly,
Anyway,
and that is literally reason number one why I'm taking the Dolphins minus the 3.5.
The funny thing is, you and I think a lot alike on this one because I look at that and I'm like, all right, so Miami's got a new toy, right? They got Tyreek Hill, and they have Jalen Waddle, who caught. You look like you want to go ahead.
The only thing that I was going to ask
Yeah.
was, would it not be the most Lions-esque thing for Matt Patricia to take over play calling and just fucking kill at it?
He won't.
So would it be the most Lion-esque thing? Yes.
It would be.
Is it going to happen? No. The guy's a dumpster fire.
I am betting against the Lions' luck so much. That's why I took New England.
So I have hated on that guy since before he took the Lions job. From day one, said he wouldn't last 3 years. He didn't. That guy is a dumpster fire. But
he's a rocket scientist.
He is not. Listen, he may be book smart, but he has no fucking common sense and can't coach to save his fucking life.
Right.
Sorry. That's just a plain and simple way I look at it.
I can't disagree with that.
So
But for that one reason alone,
yeah.
yes, that's why I took New England.
I do love. So I'm with you, Chris, on this one. I'm going against Frank on this one. I'm not going with the Matt Patricia led offense. Yeah, I actually like the under in this game. I think there is going to be some weather issues in this one. I think there's supposed to be some rain during this game.
It's Florida, of course.
Yeah,
but just seeing, like, they just showed it on ESPN just a few minutes ago.
Yeah,
looks like perfectly fine.
Looks good. Okay.
Yeah. It's gonna be hot.
Yeah, over 80.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how the Miami offense looks with Tyreek Hill. So this defensive matchup with New England is a little bit tougher, but New England always has a hell of a fucking hard time going down to Miami and playing.
They do.
Always.
They always have.
Always.
Even with Brady did.
Yep. Always. So I do like Miami in this game a lot. I will take them minus the 3.5. Yeah. Reality-wise, that's what I'm looking at.
Fantasy-wise, what are you looking at?
Fantasy-wise, I'm looking at – I think they're going to establish the run in Miami. I think they're going to try and establish the run, open up some lanes in the passing for Tua to get the ball to Tyreek, to get the ball to Jalen Waddle, Jalen Waddle had over 100 receptions last year.
Right.
So, you're looking at Tyreek taking the top off the defense, Jalen Waddle coming across the middle. In order to open that up for Tua, they're going to have to get the run game going. Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, those are your guys. And as long as Mostert's proven he can run the ball well as long as he's healthy, he's a good back.
Yep.
Again, as long as he's healthy. Chase Edmonds, you're going to see a lot of dump-offs to him. You see some screen passes to him. He's going to be very involved in this game. I don't necessarily like the passing attack in this game for Miami a lot, being that New England is a good defense against the pass. I think Tyreek probably gets one big one. And then after that, you're looking at Waddle maybe getting 6 catches for 60 yards, maybe a touchdown. So, maybe reel in your expectations for him in this one. I think you're going to see Miami starting to feel out and piece together what their offense is eventually going to be in this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see huge fantasy numbers coming out of this game at all.
The only guys I like on the opposite side of the ball are Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris. That's it. I don't like Mac Jones. I don't like any of those receivers. I don't like anybody on the opposite side of the ball. Those two running backs are it.
This is probably also a game I wouldn't even bother watching. That's how bad I expect this game to be.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a very, very good game, no.
That's why it's on Red Zone. That's flat out. That's why it's on Red Zone.
That's all I'm going to watch. So,
next up, we got the Ravens taking on the Jets. Suck.
Jets.
Fuck the Jets. Big money on the Baltimore spread, which is at 6. Baltimore's laying 6.5. Big money. 89% of the money is on the 6.5. Baltimore's laying, which is quite a bit. 80% of the money is on the under at 44. 87% of the money is on Baltimore at minus 295.
Does this count as a revenge game for Joe Flacco?
I was just going to say, why is nobody talking about this?
No,
it's almost like nobody cares.
It struck me as odd that nobody's mentioning it. Like, everybody mentions revenge games, but I've heard nobody. I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought of this.
No.
I've heard nobody say it. And for me, I'm asking the question because I'm really asking. Nobody said anything about it. So, is it a revenge game for him or not? So. And I agree with you there. No.
It's not unless he goes off. In which case, tomorrow is 100% going to be called a revenge game.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely how that narrative is going to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I love Baltimore in this game. Fucking love Baltimore.
I do
in this
too.
Game.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how Lamar plays, though, especially since he didn't get his contract extension taken care of.
He's going to be angry, Lamar.
And dude, you cannot blame the Ravens for not being dum-dums like the Browns and giving him a fully guaranteed contract. Like, come on, dude. Like, you turned down a 5-year, $230 million contract.
Yeah.
And you turned it down. $115 million, I think, was guaranteed. which, all right, maybe you wanted more money guaranteed. I get it. But no team, other than the fucking Browns, apparently, are going to give anybody a fully guaranteed fucking contract. Because you saw, like, we've talked about this numerous times on our Tuesday show. Like, owners were pissed about that. Owners still are pissed about that.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't
Oh, yeah.
Baltimore's owner like
Yeah,
one of the
Steve
big
Bisciotti.
ones that came out
Steve
and
Bisciotti
started
is like,
bitching
what the
about
fuck
it?
are you idiots doing?
Yeah, so
We see why he was bitching about
yeah,
it
because
now, but
well, and that's why you knew there was no way he
Right.
was going to get that contract.
No.
You, like the owner of your organization was one of the big people coming out against that fucking contract.
Yep.
There's no way he was going to give you a contract like that.
So he's going to, like, honestly, I think he's going to ball out this year. I really do. Because now you're on the last year of your deal. And now you're just you're going to raise the price.
Yep.
it's one of two situations I see. He is going to ball out of control. This kid's going to be one of the better quarterbacks we've seen in a long time in a 1 year span, or he gets hurt trying to do it.
I can see I can see both scenarios playing out 100%.
Well, speaking of which, I needed to bring this up. I worry about your boy. And
Josh
well,
Allen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I worry about him because listen,
Bro, that stiff arm.
I love me some Josh Allen, man. He is a fucking he can play football, bro.
He's a tank.
Like he's awesome. But
Why is
Listen,
he running it when you're up by almost 20?
I don't even know why he was in the game at that point.
taking needless hits.
Yeah.
And some of them are on him too because
I agree.
design run plays, like he will just put his head down instead of getting out of bounds and
Oh, yeah.
like listen, it's not worth it for 1 or 2 more yards, bro.
It is not.
Like you need to reel that in, man. I truly believe Cam Newton took a hit at one point that kind of derailed his career.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think his career would have been totally different if he would have not been willing to take those hits on those runs and scamper out of bounds when you had the chance, get down, slide when you had the chance. I worry about Josh Allen with that shit, man. One bad hit can ruin his whole career, and he's got a great career ahead of him, man. He's not just a running quarterback. He can throw the fucking football.
I'm going to love watching him do it, though.
I
love
agree.
when they play that way.
Listen, that stiff arm he had was fucking monster,
that was
bro.
straight up disrespectful.
For
It was
the
awesome.
longevity of your career, I hate it. For my own personal enjoyment, I'm going to watch the fuck out of this dude now.
No, I'm with you.
I agree.
Sometimes just go out of bounds, dude.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it. Just don't need to take the pointless contact.
Especially when you're up by almost 3
Exactly.
scores.
Like I get you want to prove that you're the guy. Like, yeah, I'm whatever, but there's no need for that shit.
Even Stafford's not taking the hits.
Yeah. And speaking of that guy, I think there's definitely something wrong with that dude's elbow.
He looked bad.
Well, I mean,
Well,
I think there's a problem. He only throws the white guys. I'm throwing that out there.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Like people were saying like some idiot on
I mean,
Twitter.
the
whatever it was.
stats prove that he really did kind of only throw the white guys. But I mean, I'm not saying it's because of that. It's just,
Right.
it's just. I mean, the
Like,
stats show.
Like
yes,
they're
that's what happened,
literally
but
calling him racist. I'm like,
I
are
know.
you fucking serious?
That's
I
stupid.
was going to say, if that's the
That's
case,
stupid.
then Tom Brady is too.
like
Julian, Rob, fucking Welker.
I mean, there's a lot of stupid shit on social media, but that I'm just like, what the fuck? Seriously?
Anything that can be spun into a narrative is going to get spun into
Like,
it.
you people are fucking idiots. Anyways, back to this Baltimore New York Jets game. I honestly, Joe, I'm with you. I think Baltimore is going to handle their business. I do believe that Lamar is going to have quite the game.
Yeah.
It sucks for if you have J.K. Dobbins. He is not playing today, as we talked about earlier.
Yep.
Yeah, give me Baltimore all day.
I'll take it with the spread.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so you look at it, and Lamar Jackson in his last 3 opening games, 33.6 points, 27.5, and 22. And 22 was his lowest. I'll take that all day, every day. And you've got him as your starter. Throw him out there. I think this is a cake matchup for him. I think he's going to play well. I think he's going to come out pissed. And I think this whole season, he's gonna, like
You've
you
got
said, he's going
Warpath Lamar
Yep.
right now.
I think Rashad Bateman is probably going to have a good game. He's the guy that's taken over for Marquise Brown in that starting role. And Bateman's always been, since he got drafted, he's been pegged to break out, but just hasn't yet.
Well, he can
So,
catch the ball.
I mean, he can actually catch the ball. I think he's going to have a very good season. I think he's going to have a good game today. And, of course, Mark Andrews is a guy that you're not sitting. You're playing him no matter what. On the other side of the ball, you've got the running backs, Breece Hall, and Michael Carter, because I wouldn't play any of that receiving core with Joe Flacco. I just wouldn't. I might play Ty Conklin, the tight end.
Was he former goalie Ty Conklin?
No.
I was just sitting here. I was like,
wait.
Conklin.
He was a goalie for the Wings for a minute.
Yeah, for a quick minute.
But I would play him with Joe Flacco in there. I think he's going to lean on the tight end and the running backs a little bit. I don't really like the passing game overall. I think Conklin's maybe one of those guys in a DFS contrarian play. One of the guys you bid down on to put in guys like Jonathan Taylor and CMC. But Breece Hall and Michael Carter, I'm looking forward to seeing how this backfield splits out because, you saw everyone was kind of on Breece Hall's side at this point, and they're saying he's the guy, he's got more talent. And I'm with you, Chris. I like him for the overall season. I think eventually he'll become more of the main back. Not at first, though. Michael Carter did nothing to lose that job. This coaching staff, it's not like they inherited him. They drafted him last year. And Michael Carter did nothing to lose the job. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him get the starting nod and to see him get the majority of the carries in this game, whether it's by 2 or 10. I think he'll get the majority of the touches out of that backfield for now. Could it eventually pan out to where Breece Hall is more talented and he gets more of that? It can. And I drafted him in some leagues thinking that could be the case. But it's one of those things right now. I trust Michael Carter more than I do Breece Hall.
I'm with you 100%. I personally think Breece Hall is going to be a bust. That's just me. That's how I feel about it. So
and you very well could be right. Very well could be. And I can't tell you right now that I'm sold on him at all.
I feel like that pretty much anybody that goes to the Jets is going to be a bust.
Yeah, that we'll see. I'm giving this new coaching staff some time to develop their players and get their players in there that they want and that they drafted. I can't say you're wrong. It's the fucking Jets.
Oh, yeah, like what we talked about on Tuesday, and I said I was going to bring it up on the show today. So since we're talking about the Jets, and I saw this on the Twitter.com. It was somebody posted name somebody that shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, and of course I said Joe Namath. I don't think he should be in the Hall of Fame because he has more interceptions than touchdowns. I'm sorry, that to me that's not a Hall of Fame worthy, and people agreed with me, and then there was one person that just was steadfast.
Always is.
I'm like, he's like, oh, you're only throwing out one stat. I'm like, that's the only one I fucking need. He has more interceptions than he has touchdowns. I'm sorry, that does not make you a Hall of Fame football player. It just doesn't. Yeah. Now, did you have one of the biggest moments in football history by calling your shot and winning Super Bowl III? Yes, you did, and that's fantastic.
Right.
Great.
Are you a legend off the field?
Are you a legend off the field? Yes. But I'm sorry, you're not a Hall of Famer. You should not be in the Hall of Fame at all. You shouldn't. You're in the Hall of Good, but you're not in the Hall of Fame. You shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. And this guy just wouldn't let it go. He just kept saying, "You're only bringing up one stat. You're only bringing. That's all I need. That's the argument over. That's it.
It's literally the only one I need.
That's it. You only have one leg to stand on. Again, that's all I fucking need. That's it." And this guy just wanted to keep going, and finally, I'm just like, "All right, dude. Say whatever you want. That's fine. You're wrong. I'm sorry. You're fucking wrong." And generally, with people with their opinions, I generally kind of. That's your opinion. Neither of us are wrong.
Right.
But this guy, I'm like, no.
You're wrong.
You're fucking wrong.
No, you're wrong.
But, so, that was the, that was that. I'm just like, dude, you're clearly not going to change your stance. I'm clearly not going to change mine. But if you think people that have more interceptions than touchdowns belong in the Hall of Fame, then your Hall of Fame is shit. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I can't disagree with you.
All right.
Next up, Jaguars and quite possibly the dumbest fucking team name in sports, the Washington Commanders. I don't know which is worse, Commanders or Guardians.
Commanders.
Frank?
Honestly, Commanders is pretty bad.
I'm gonna go Guardians. I think Guardians is worse.
I don't like the name the Guardians, but I just think Commanders is worse.
I would rather Washington have stayed Washington football team.
Yeah,
I agree.
I agree with you 100%.
Wholeheartedly.
Don't get me wrong, Commanders is incredibly fucking terrible. But yeah, I agree with you, Frank. I wish they had just stayed. Honestly, I wish they had just stayed Redskins. Just leave it alone. Fucking whatever. But I digress.
Thanks, Karen.
I digress.
Thanks, Karen.
She's the reason they had to change it.
Right. So in this game, the Commanders are laying 3. The over/under is at 43.5. Money heavily on the under on this one at 81%. 60% of the money is on Jacksonville at plus 130, and 66% of the money is on Jacksonville with the plus 3 on the spread. I'm not touching this game at all. I don't want anything to do with this fucking game.
I'm with you there. This is one of the games that I haven't put anything on other than I did take all the 1 o'clock games and go through and just made a parlay out of all the 1 o'clock games.
Nice.
It's the only thing I did with this game, and just because I was doing all of them. I don't necessarily like this game either way. If I were to lean somewhere, which is what I did in the parlay I put, I lean Washington money line. I don't trust them. I don't trust them giving up the points. But I think Jacksonville's going to surprise some people this year.
I do too.
And it wouldn't shock me to be week 1. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to show some real progression this year. They've got Etienne.
That's why he was my breakout player this year.
Yeah, I think you're going. I like that pick because I think he is going to have a much better year than last year. I think you're going to see much better progression from him now that Uncle Herb is not his coach and that coaching staff is not a dumpster fire.
Kicking kickers and shit.
Yeah. I would lean Washington money line, but I'm with you. I wouldn't necessarily touch
I'm not
this
leaning
game.
anywhere in this motherfucker. I don't want anything to do with this fucking game. I don't even want to watch this game.
No, I really expect this is going to be the worst game of the weekend.
But you're going to watch it because you're a Jags fan.
Yeah, and you're right because I want to see if you guys are right about Trevor Lawrence. Like I'm at this point with Jacksonville where I have no interest in them. Like yes, they were one of my teams for a very long time.
I don't even think their fans have interest in them.
Example A.
Yeah,
exactly.
There's so much nothing going on there.
Yeah.
Like the most interesting thing that the Khan family has going is the behind the scenes shit in their wrestling company.
Oh, that's a.
wow.
We'll talk about that on Tuesday.
It's not their football team. It's not their
That's a shit show.
Yeah, that whole thing is a fucking mess right now.
Yeah.
But the Jaguars, in my opinion, are not much better off.
No.
So that's why I'm saying, like, I'm going to watch it. Yeah, this might be the only Jaguars game this year I watch, though.
Frank, I think Ski is going to prove you wrong this year with Trevor Lawrence. He's again, same thing I said about Fields, right? Mm-hmm. And you have a coaching staff that's going to coach to the strengths of your quarterback, right. and that makes a big difference with running quarterbacks, right? You saw it with Harbaugh, with Lamar Jackson.
Well, and you look at what Peterson can do with running quarterbacks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you saw what he did with Carson Wentz in his first couple years. You saw what he did with Nick Foles to win that Super Bowl. Peterson is not necessarily a great coach. I don't really like him very much, but he can get the most out of a running quarterback. He can scheme things to where I don't think they're going to be a great NFL team. I think you're going to be impressed with the progress they make on offense and what Trevor Lawrence is going to show this year. It makes a huge difference to have a coaching staff coach
that puts you in a position to succeed
and coach to the talents that are on your team,
Yep.
and especially to the starting quarterback's talents.
That's what the good coaches do.
That's what you have to do.
You have a system, I get that, but you have to adjust the system to the talent you fucking have.
I would be more comfortable with Jacksonville and their overall outlook if Peterson was just the offensive coordinator.
Right.
I don't like him as a head coach. I think he's going to get the most out of that offense, though, for sure.
Yeah. Fantasy-wise, what are you looking at? What do you got?
Listen, I don't love this game either way on either side of the ball fantasy-wise. Listen, if you have Terry McLaurin, you're playing him. If you have Trevor Lawrence, maybe in a 2-quarterback league, you're playing him. If you want to play Trevor Lawrence in a DFS with spending down at the quarterback position, listen, Washington can be thrown on. Mm-hmm. They're probably going to have some garbage time in this game if Washington at home gets up. So I believe that both teams are going to be in this game for the whole game. So you're going to get points from Trevor Lawrence in this one. Not necessarily enough to start him as if you're in a 1-quarterback league and he's your starter. I don't necessarily like that. Right. 2-quarterback league, yes. DFS, like him for a spend down quarterback. I don't love anything in this matchup fantasy wise.
My question mark's ETN. And not that I would start him this week, but if you got him, this is going to be the week you know, okay, going forward, I'm going to use this guy. Or going forward, he's a potential drop candidate. What do him and Lawrence still have? How is Lawrence going to use him in the NFL?
How is he going to come back from that injury?
Right.
Is he going to be rusty? This is one of those weeks where if I have him, I don't play him. I watch to see what happens. I see how they use him. I see how he responds. I see how he is, and then I go from there.
Yeah, this week is going to tell you everything you need to know about how that usage is going to go.
Yep.
Some injury updates before we move on to the,
Yeah,
to the next game.
absolutely.
George Kittle, out.
I saw that coming.
Drake London is playing today, as is Michael Thomas.
Gotcha. Well,
And
I still have Michael Thomas in a couple of my lineups, so I'm glad he's actually playing.
I'm still not starting Drake London.
I was sold on Michael Thomas was going to play anyway, but
And Tyler Algier is inactive today.
so they're going with Damian Williams and Corduroy Patterson.
Corduroy Patterson, baby.
Corduroy Patterson.
Next up, we got the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Spread on this one is Kansas City's laying 6.5. It's pretty even split on the money on this one, with 53% of the money going to Arizona, getting the 6.5. Over-under is at 54, with a lot of the money going to the over on this one, and I love that. I love the over on this one. And 62% of the money line is going toward Kansas City at minus 275. Like I said, if I were to bet this game, I would absolutely go with the over on this one.
Give me the over. Give me Arizona all day.
Really?
Give me that 6.5 points all fucking day.
Okay.
There's Vegas puts this out there. They want you to take Kansas City because listen, everybody's a Kansas City fan, right? Everyone wants to take Kansas City. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's Travis Kelce.
Yep.
All right, they have a lot of questions on that offense though.
They got Juju now.
They have Juju.
Juju's got quite the following.
So people are going to take Kansas City in this game, and at giving up 6.5 points, I don't see that they're 6.5 points better than that Arizona team, even missing Zach Ertz. So I look at this and I take Arizona all day with that 6.5 points, and I feel comfortable as shit because you have say what you want about Kyler Murray, he can keep his teams in games, and that can happen. So especially week one where nobody's on a roll.
Do you think he plays Call of Duty at halftime?
He might.
No, it doesn't come out until November. He's probably sick of the old
He's
version.
probably tired of the old version.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, for me, give me Arizona all day with that 6.5 points, and I'll be comfortable as shit with that.
Okay. Like I just love the
over.
Yes, I do love the over on
Yeah.
this. I'm not crazy about the spread on this one. I mean, if I were to touch the spread on this one, I actually do agree with you on that. This with the 6.5.
If I was going to take Kansas City in this game, I would put it in a parlay where I would buy the points down a little bit.
Okay.
I do think KC wins this game. I just don't see him winning by 7 points. I just don't.
I think this is going to be a huge fantasy matchup, though.
Yeah.
If you got players in this game, you're definitely going to get some. You're definitely going to get some points out of this one. I think this game's going to be a shootout.
Yeah, I can see that, and that's why I love the over in this game at 54.5.
Yep.
And Patrick Mahomes, you're playing him. Kyler Murray, you're playing him. Travis Kelce, you're playing him. Listen, if you drafted Juju, you're probably playing him unless you have possibly a better option, and you're going to see how that pans out. I think this wide receiver core is going to be a week-to-week thing. Excuse me. Like, Juju could have a great week. Then the next week it could be Valdez Scantling because he's the guy that's going to take the top off the defense. He's a deep guy. It's going to be different guys every week. I think Kelsey's going to be consistent. I think he's going to because he's proven to be consistent.
You mean your brother? You look just like him, dude.
Travis Kelce?
Yes, you do.
I don't see that.
Him, Travis Kelce and Jason Kipnis. You look just like both of those.
Kipnis, I for sure see.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no getting away from that one.
Yeah, no.
That's just like, holy shit, man. We really put you in a baseball uniform and you probably get right on the field.
Right?
You wouldn't even know.
I could walk right down on there.
You really could.
You're like, oh, you're here. I thought I just saw you.
We should try that one time.
I got to lose a little weight, but yeah.
We should try that. That'd be That'd be definitely an exercise to try out. I think that'd be pretty fucking funny.
Put some hidden cameres on.
Yeah.
Who does he
Follow
play
around.
for now?
I don't think he has a team right now. I think he's a free agent.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you don't even got to lose the weight then. Your money.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't want to overanalyze the fantasy on this one because I mean I think you're playing all your guys,
Yes.
right?
For both teams.
The backfield in both these matchups is going to be a little
Dicey.
yeah. I mean you don't.
It's your boy Jacoby Brissett. Yeah.
Oh God, I am just not comfortable with that. James Conner, you obviously play, but the backfield for Kansas City is one where is it Allaire?
I told you. I told you what's his nuts is going to take over that backfield.
Pacheco?
Yes.
See, me personally, I just don't see it because I haven't seen him being any better. Like, not like Allaire is good, but I just haven't seen Pacheco separate himself. You know what I mean? He might win it just by being not quite as bad as Allaire. You know what I mean? Like, that could be the case.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, right. I mean, I just don't know. That backfield is one I'm a holding pattern on.
Okay.
I don't necessarily want to play any of that backfield until I see how it's going to work out.
Which I don't disagree with you on that. But
And they still have Ronald Jones, I think.
like receivers
So-
or running backs or receivers or quarterbacks. Absolutely, start if you got anybody on either of those teams. Yes, start them 100%. Frank, what say you?
I mean, I was very high on I call him John Connor, but James Conner.
Right.
John Connor.
John Connor.
But you know,
Get down.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
when he was back in Pittsburgh, I drafted him, and I was like, I'll take John Connor because I was like, I don't know this guy's fucking first name. It just starts with a J. So from that point on,
John Connor, yes.
I've been very high on him. I do like what he brings to that offense. The fact that Arizona's got a lot of question marks when it comes to receivers right now is going to work in his favor. As far as KC goes, in all honesty, and it's not you guys, Joe specifically, Joe's the one who knows what he's talking about when it comes to fantasy. But the way I look at KC, but the way I look at KC, there's too much on that offense for me to trust. I look at them like I looked at your Bills the other night, and I took a flyer on Dawson Knox, and that bit me in the ass.
Yes, it did.
I really think KC could
tried to tell you. Did I not?
My other option was Ertz, though.
I get you there.
Yeah.
But I will say, I did try to say,
Yeah, no.
there's too many weapons on that team for me to trust the tight end at this point. I
and
just
that's
can't.
exactly where I'm going with this
Yeah.
one. And it's not specifically the tight end because their chemistry is there.
It is.
But how is he going to use Valdez Scantling, or however you pronounce his name? How is he going to use Juju? I mean, we've seen Juju play. Juju has the potential to be a good receiver. So, for me, KC's got a lot of question marks right now. And it's not that they're not going to be good. It's just how are they going to use them?
Yep. I think it's going to be a crapshoot every week as to which one of those guys is going to actually put up any points.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I stayed away from all that receiving core in every draft I had. I didn't touch that receiving core because, listen, you're going to have luck on your side depending on what am I supposed to play this guy this week? Am I not playing this week? Which week is it going to be this week? Is it going to be Juju? Is it going to be Valdez Scantling?
Right.
Is it going to be you don't fucking know?
Is there somebody else who's going to show up?
I took those decisions out of my own hands and said, you know what? I'm not drafting any of those guys. And I'll be honest with you, not to dog you about the Knox pick because he is a good tight end, and Josh Allen has chemistry with him. But listen, you've got Diggs. You've got
now that
Gabe,
I've seen how
you've
that
got
offense
Gabe
is
Davis.
going to operate, yeah.
You've got Isaiah McKenzie, who had a bad drop, basically turned into an interception, but then caught a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got weapons on that team. I didn't draft Dawson Knox in any leagues this year. He was another one I stay away from because there's so many weapons on that team. I just when the weapons on that team on your team are way better at every position than your good tight end, the tight end gets left out sometimes.
Yeah.
But
it happens, and it's still a monsoon in Chicago. Holy shit!
And it's also why I backed that pickup though with Zach Ertz. In the event that is exactly how things were going to pan
I love
out.
Ertz this year.
Yeah.
Season long. Now I think he's out today, but I had to pick up I can't pronounce his name. The tight end Obagawi or whatever his name is for Denver. I think he's going to have a good year this year, but I had to pick him up because I had Ertz as a starting tight end in one of my leagues, and I didn't trust the fact that he was going to play. Even if he plays, he's going to be at limited
Right.
snaps,
And
so.
which is why I chose to start
exactly.
Knox over him.
Which at that point you had to.
Right. You know, if we're talking a reverse situation where Knox is the one playing on Sunday,
Right.
if I know that Ertz is playing on Thursday, that's an easy decision.
Yep. All right.
Next up.
Next up.
Raiders, Chargers. Wow, this is a pretty even split on the spread with the Chargers laying 3.5. 51% of the money is going to Vegas on this one. The over/under, huge money on 52.5 for the over on that one. Money line, money's basically on the Chargers at minus 177. I love the over on this one. Love it.
I'm in lockstep with you there, brother.
Love it.
Lockstep with you there.
I'm staying away from the spread. I'm going straight up over/under on this one.
I actually like the spread.
You?
Give me Los Angeles.
Okay.
Give me the Chargers. I think Vegas is going to be a very good team this year. I have them pegged as my surprise team this year that they can compete. I think they will compete in this game, but I think Los Angeles at home will have this one. I like them in this game to win it by 4 or 5 points in the end. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch, though.
I do too.
Oh, hell yeah, it is.
Like, this is one of those matchups that we were talking about when all these signings happened, when Devontae Adams got traded and all that stuff. And we're like, all right, these are going to be fun to watch.
Well, you look at the way those teams finished up against each other last year. That fucking matchup was epic. And now all of a sudden you've added to these teams, and things are a lot better offensively.
And like we've talked about numerous times, especially since Russ got traded to that division, to the AFC West.
Yep.
That division is going to be an absolute monster.
Oh, yeah.
And it's why I'm stoked that this is week one, because we get these guys healthy. Let's just watch it
It's gonna
how
be
it should be.
Yep.
Injuries and all that shit will happen later on. The second matchup's probably going to be filled with them.
But
This one, we get both teams pretty much fully healthy. Give me the over. I would take the over if it was at 60. In all honesty.
yeah, I think we're all in on that one, the over for sure. Fantasy wise, listen, play them all. Mm-hmm. Play them fucking all. I will say, I'm not dogging Keenan Allen at all. I like Keenan Allen.
Inconsistent as fuck, dude.
Listen, if I were going to take a bet, so I was talking to Dan, who didn't put in picks this week because he's at his bachelor party in Vegas. But he was talking to me about a few bets, and he's like, Keenan Allen, over 5.5 receptions. He'll have that by halftime, lock it up. Now, I like that bet. I really do. I like that bet. I don't think he's going to lock it up by halftime.
Vegas' secondary is pretty weak.
But I will tell you that Keenan Allen was actually kept under wraps last year by this team. He had 7 for 36 and 6 for 52. No touchdowns. So those aren't big stat lines. Now, 7 and 6 receptions. I love the over 5.5 receptions this game, but I can see him getting 8 receptions for 60 yards. Now, in a point per reception, that's 14 points. I'll take it.
Right.
But I'm just saying temper your expectations a little bit. If it becomes more of a shootout, could be more points to be had there. But Keenan Allen was kept under wraps by this team last year. So temper your expectations. This might be a Mike Williams game. Might be an Austin Eckler game. Might be a more away from Keenan Allen. Let's just put it that way. So
Renfro's going to eat. You're going to get Devontae they're going to be pass happy with Devontae early in the game. Him and Derek Carr are going to just show what they can do together. You're going to get Devontae drowned out in the second half, I think. He's going to be a non-factor. Waller's going to be forced in the red zone like he always is, but I think your go-to guy in this one is Hunter Renfrow.
I can see that. I can see having a huge game.
Yep.
The only thing I will say on that one is the Chargers gave up, I think, like the 4th or 5th fewest points to the slot last year. So they could take him out. But, again, there's so many other weapons on that team now. It's a different team. Like, you've got Devontae Adams that's going to take take coverage away from him. So,
And I like
and if Waller's going to be in this game, he's going to do the same thing. So,
and I like Renfro. If you look at the way coverage is going to be set up, if they're going to double Renfro, it's going to be with a linebacker.
right.
And I love that matchup.
And he's,
all
and
day
he's way
long.
faster than a linebacker. Another guy I talking about the Chargers who is a weapon for them is Gerald Everett, coming over from the Rams, who could actually eat today. You know, if Keenan Allen gets covered as well as he has by them, Mike Williams takes the top off the defense. You could see Gerald Everett getting some stuff across the middle.
And I do. I love Eckler in this game. He just the
I mean,
way they use him.
Well, and
Yeah.
I'll tell you, by all accounts, they're going to use him a little less this year, but that's by design. They're going to try to take a little bit of the workload running wise off of him, which will open him up for some of the stunt plays, some of the screens. They're going to use him more in the passing game, which is almost impossible, but they're going to take some weight off his shoulders run-wise. It's why they picked up Sony Michel.
Right.
Sony Michel is going to be kind of your pounded-in back. He's going to be the main, first down guy, or he's going to be main, 3rd and 1 guy. You're still going to see Eckler get work, and I think it's going to benefit him because you're going to put him in less situations to possibly get hurt.
Well, and this week specifically with the way Vegas's defense is set up, that front four is so powerful. But after you get past that, it's not that strong.
No.
So if you can get Eckler in right behind that line, Herbert, worst case scenario, can check down to him every single time, and you're going to pick up 10, 15 yards off of it.
Yep. Yeah, I love Eckler as a player, and I think what they're doing overall there by trying to take some of that workload off of him run wise is gonna benefit fantasy players who have him on their team, and it's gonna benefit him overall and not put him in positions to get hurt.
Yeah.
Well said, gentlemen. Nicely done.
Thanks.
Next up, Packers, Vikings. This one's pretty much a pick 'em as it comes to the spread. Minnesota's laying 1.5 with 58% of the money on that. The over/under is at 46.5. 61% of the money is on the under, and 69% of the money is on Minnesota at minus 122 for the money line. I would stay away from this game. I don't like anything about it.
I love Minnesota in this game.
That's fair.
I love Minnesota in this game at home, I actually really love the under.
Okay.
If I were to, I actually might. Thinking about it, I love Minnesota. I love the under. I might parlay it together. I think Green Bay is going to be rusty. Missing Devontae Adams. Alan Lazard's not going to be playing in this game probably. You're going to get a lot of running. You're going to get a lot of Aaron Jones. You're going to get a lot of A.J. Dillon. On the opposite side of the ball, you're going to get Green Bay is good against the pass. So Justin Jefferson's still going to get his. That new offense that comes over from the Rams is going to get him open. But I think you're still going to see a healthy dose of Dalvin Cook.
Yep.
And you're going to see a little bit of a slower pace in this game than what you might expect by just seeing the two names. Right. So I believe the under in this game is good, and I'll take Minnesota in a pick'em game at home for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, this is one I'm staying away from. Aaron Rodgers is such an enigma to me. That,
really is.
Yeah, he could come out today and have a career day, and I wouldn't be surprised by it. Larry Moe and Curly are his receivers, and this guy could fucking ball out of control.
Two things I'll tell you to look out for, reality and fantasy, is look out for Valdez-Scantling to have his yearly week 1 blow up and then disappear. Not Valdez-Scantling, Sammy Watkins. Sorry.
Oh, yes.
Who takes the role of Valdez-Scantling?
Yes.
Sammy Watkins.
Plus about 10 years.
Yeah. So, but you look at Sammy Watkins to have his week 1 blow up and then disappear for the rest of the season.
Well, that's because
he'll get hurt. Yeah,
something.
he'll get hurt on like a long touchdown.
Like we talk about CMC getting hurt. He at least plays 3 games a year. Sammy Watkins gets hurt in the first game every year and never plays.
But at least he puts up a big game in the first game.
Always.
So look out for that. I mean, see if past history will play out again. But
Right.
The fact that Lazard's not going to be in this game, you've got a couple of rookies in Christian Watson and my favorite Romeo Doubs, who could put up some numbers today. Like this could possibly put, with Lazard going to be out, it could put Dobbs in a position to win over that trust of Aaron Rodgers, which notoriously he doesn't necessarily trust rookies.
He does not.
But you look at players who have come out and been younger that Aaron Rodgers has made,
He always finds one.
has made into a great receiver.
He always finds one.
He finds one.
Yes.
And right now that one looks like it's not the highest draft pick in Christian Watson.
It doesn't have to be.
It looks like it's Dobbs. And he's talked very glowingly of Dobbs. So I've taken a couple flyers on him in DFS. I've drafted him in a couple leagues late because I think the potential year long could be there for him. He's shown flashes of being really fucking good. He goes up and gets the ball at its highest point. He goes to get the ball. He doesn't wait for it to come to him. He catches it with his hands. He doesn't let it hit his body. I mean, he does everything a receiver that Aaron Rodgers and any quarterback would want to do does. You know?
Yeah. I'm really interested to see what he does with that wide receiver core.
Yep.
Those backs are going to eat all day, though.
Absolutely. I love both those backs in this game on that side of the ball. I do like Kirk Cousins season long, and if you have him, I would play him in this game. I think, listen, if you dog him all you want to, we talked about it on Tuesday. The guy's consistent when it comes to, listen, he's going to toss you 33, 34 touchdowns, and he's only going to throw 7 to 10 picks.
But it's when those picks happen.
It's when those picks happen, and that's the reality football of it. But if you're looking at fantasy-wise, I think he's going to be a good play all year.
Yeah.
I like him in this game to get you some good points. I don't think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have much better games. And then Justin Jefferson, I think he's great all year. Love him. I think he's going to be I got him pegged to be my number one receiver for the entire year. Even over Kupp, who looked fucking fantastic in that first game, might make me out to be an idiot. But
doesn't take much.
It's true. But Justin Jefferson is going to have a good game today, I believe. I don't necessarily think it's going to be great. I think you'll have much better games from him in the future. But you got him. You got to play him.
I think Thielen could have a decent day today.
I think he might. It's possible he could have a better day than Jefferson.
I think they're going to roll coverage towards Jefferson.
Yeah.
It's possible. I do trust this offense a little more to get Jefferson open.
Yeah.
Because it's that Rams offense that's coming over. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, he possibly could have a better day than Jefferson with the way this could work out.
Next up in a non-sexy game, Giants Titans. Tennessee is laying 5. Yeah, Tennessee's. Wait, hold on a second. My computer screen. is glitching.
It froze.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tennessee is laying 5.5. It's split right down the middle on the money on that. Under is at 44. 80% of the money is toward the under on this, and 76% of the money is on Tennessee money line at minus 240. I'm staying away from this one.
I like Tennessee in this game, even giving up the 5 or 5.5. I don't necessarily love it.
Nope.
So I personally am staying away from it a little bit. I don't love either side of this, but if you pressed me to make a choice, that'd be my choice.
Fair.
And I wouldn't touch the over under in this game.
I don't like anything about this fucking game.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm definitely staying away from it 100%.
Frankie?
I have zero interest in this game. I won't even turn it on. My TV will be locked onto the Raiders fucking Chargers.
The only thing I'll see is what's on Red Zone.
Yep.
And I don't think it's going to be much in that game. So, talking about fantasy, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, playing them, right?
You have to. If you drafted those two, you have to.
You're playing them. I think two sneaky plays could be Wendell Robinson, the rookie for the Giants. I like him season long. Might be a sneaky play today. Gets him over the middle. He's panning out to be their slot guy. So
somebody's got to catch the ball
right.
there.
Somebody's got. And Kadarius Toney season long. I like him. I don't necessarily love him today. With the matchup against Tennessee. And other than that, I don't fantasy wise. I'm not going to even spend much time on this. You make your choices wisely, I guess. I don't know.
If you got Tannehill in a 2 QB league, might not be a terrible play. I wouldn't go for it, but if you have them, maybe.
Yeah.
That's about as far as I'll go with fantasy.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, fantasy-wise in this game, I really don't like anything about it. I really don't.
No, I'm okay with Wendell Robinson in a PPR league because he might get 6 or 7 receptions over the middle for like 50 or 60 yards,
Right.
and it's okay if it's your third receiver or he's your flex, but
Nobody's going to go off in this game.
no,
I really
I don't
don't think-
see it. The best 2 plays are the running backs, and you're
Yep.
playing them anyway. So,
And then that's really all I think about this game.
Yep.
Other than that, I got nothing.
me too. Let's move on.
Next up, Buccaneers Cowboys Sunday night. Tampa Bay is laying 2.5. 70% of the money is on that. Over under is at 50.5. 77% of the money is on the under, and 54% of the money is on Tampa Bay money line at -140.
I am in the 30% that loves taking Dallas, getting the 2.5. Give me Dallas.
I think
at
Dallas is
home.
going to win.
I do too.
Yeah.
I
I
do
think
too.
Dallas is gonna win.
Give me Dallas at home, getting that 2.5 points, and I'm comfortable as shit with that. Give me Dallas money line as well.
Yeah.
Like, I hate betting on anything Cowboys, but I think Dallas is going to win 100%.
I absolutely. I don't understand how 70% of the money is on on Tampa in this game with giving up 2.5. I don't get it.
Dallas's
Am I seeing something stupid here? Like I just
I'm going straight up Cowboys money line, baby.
yeah.
Dallas's defense could eat Tampa's offensive line alive today. Like with how injured Tampa's offensive line is.
Well, see, the bad thing is so is Dallas.
I would say Dallas's offensive line isn't much better.
There's two really injured offensive
Right,
lines.
it really
in this
is.
game.
But my faith in Tampa's defensive line isn't as high as it is in Dallas's
Right.
offensive line. And with the injuries in Tampa,
Yeah.
that defensive line could really get scary.
I'll be honest with you. I think this one's going to be
Poor
a
Tom.
little bit of a shootout. I think there's going to be quite a few points scored in this game. I think Dallas wins it for sure.
If you're a Brady hater, this is the game to watch because that man's going to be running for his life at times.
Well, I don't know if
think.
you can call it running.
He's going to be shuffling for life.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Yeah.
Fantasy wise, I'm looking at this. So Dallas obviously lost Amari Cooper, to my team, the Browns.
Yes.
Michael Gallup is still injured and out.
Yep.
James Washington's on an IR. So you got CeeDee Lamb. I think you're going to see a lot of CeeDee Lamb, and I like Dalton Schultz in this game as
was
well
gonna say Dalton
because
Schultz, yeah.
he's going to be he's basically going to be the number 2 option in that passing offense. And then you got Zeke and Tony Pollard.
I like Pollard.
Pollard's
too.
going to be lined up at a slot a lot. He's going to be basically used in receiving situations. You're going to see Zeke as the running back. You're going to see Pollard as the H back, and Pollard's going to get a lot of receptions throughout the season. Here, he's going to do all right. That's what I see on that side of the ball. On the other side of the ball, Julio Jones is a sneaky play, right? Because you got Godwin's
The corpse of Julio Jones.
the corpse of Julio. See, and I'll be honest with you, I just think he wasn't utilized last year in Tennessee very well. I think you're going to see this year, he's not as dead as we thought he was.
And Tom's got that way of getting every last bit out of somebody.
When Tom recruits a player to a team,
Yeah. There's a
the
reason.
very first game, he kind of goes, "See, I told you." And then, I mean, Antonio Brown,
Yeah.
first game in New England.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? First game in New England. It was like, was it 6 receptions, 70 yards? I think he had 1 or 2 touchdowns.
tuds.
Like you're looking at it and you're like, all right, that was Tom Brady going, "See, I fucking told you. I told you." I think this is going to be one of those scenarios. He's a sneaky play today. And Mike Evans, you got to play him. Tom Brady, if you drafted him, you play him. Dak Prescott, if you drafted him, play him. I don't like either one of those guys long term because of the offensive line issues, truthfully. I do like CeeDee Lamb season long. He's going to be the main guy now. And as long as Dak Prescott can actually get him the ball, I think he's going to be pretty damn good.
And they have no Gallup today, obviously. So
Oh, yeah, no, Gallup's out. Washington's on IR. You got
CeeDee
I
Lamb.
just
CeeDee Lamb and Dalton Schultz.
the notification literally popped up while we were talking about this.
Yep.
Next
All
up,
right.
the final game of the weekend. Denver traveling to Seattle. Russell Wilson, the homecoming of sorts. Maybe a revenge game. I don't know. He seems to be pretty pissed at the Seahawks because they tried to trade him at least twice while he was there.
Yep.
So we talked about this on Tuesday. We both hammered the spread on this one, which Denver laying 6.5.
Yep.
And even if it was higher than that, we probably would have hammered that.
I listen. I could be dead wrong, but I'm just fucking putting money all over.
And it
Denver
seems
in this
like
game.
everybody else, the degenerate gamblers out there, agree with both of us. 83% of the money is on Denver laying the 6.5.
Well, that's one of those occasions where I'm on the right side of that one. Then I guess.
We both are, absolutely. 57% of the money is on the under at 44, and 83% of the money is on Denver money line at minus 286. Like we just talked about, both of us hammered the Denver laying the 6.5.
Yep.
I think this is going to be an absolute curb stomping by Denver. I do. To me, this is easy money.
I love Russ in this game, obviously, because you got that revenge.
Yeah, let's ride.
So I listen. Despite the fact that personally, on a personal atmosphere, I think Russell Wilson is kind of a dweeb.
He's
and
a fucking
dork. I
dork.
don't like him.
The dude is a dork, 100%.
But when it comes to football, the guy can play.
Hey, win me some money, baby. Let's go.
And I see him winning us some money today or tonight.
I'm all about
Tomorrow
it.
night. Sorry.
Yes.
I just love Denver in this game for sure. Give me them all day.
Absolutely.
Fucking all day.
It might be a little bit of a hot take, but that spread could be at 20.5. I'd still take them. I think it'll be
much.
I think it'll be a 3-touchdown game. I think they will beat them by at least 21.
See, I'm not quite there. I think it's probably going to be a two-tutty win, but that's because I see some garbage time maybe out of Seattle. Maybe a late score from
DK's going to give me some points in garbage time,
maybe
baby.
a late score from Gino and DK.
Let's go.
A late touchdown from Gino to DK.
I wonder if Russ just throws one to the sidelines just so DK can get a catch.
Right.
Russ like, DK, here, catch.
Well,
There you go,
the
got
one
one.
the one thing that bodes well for DK is when Gino was in there last year, he zoned in on DK. Like he was
How could
tunnel
you
vision.
not?
He was tunnel vision to DK.
Man's an animal.
That's true. He's a physical specimen, that's for sure. Fantasy wise, listen, I don't like really anything on the Seattle side other than maybe a Rashad Penny play. He's going to be the main back. Looks like Kenny Walker's not going to play, right? So I like Rashad Penny as the main back.
Third? Fourth? What is he?
Kenny Walker the third.
There you go.
So
I thought it was the 4th.
I know you did.
But
I still stand by that.
that's the only one on that side of the ball I like, other than, like I said, DK, you got to play him, and Gino's zoned in on him, so that's not a bad play. I don't like Gino in this game, though.
I don't like Gino ever.
Ever. Yeah. I love the Denver side of this, though. I love Russ. Yeah. He's going to get his because, listen, he's playing Seattle. I love Javonte Williams and the Denver defense in this one. Like I put Javonte Williams and the Denver defense in a lot of my DFS because they're going to be up in this game. They're going to be running the ball. That defense is going to eat Geno Smith. Like I'm all over that.
And if things don't go well for Geno Smith, their other option is Drew Lock. So things could only get better as the game goes on.
For the Denver defense. Yes. Yeah, so I'm all over that. Don't overthink it in this game as for fantasy wise. Play DK. If you got Rashad Penny, it's a decent play. He's the main guy. He's going to get receptions out of the backfield. He's going to get all the running back work as far as rushing. And then Denver, play your guys. I love Cortland Sutton in this game. Jerry Jeudy to possibly get a long one. Overall, out of those receivers, I like Cortland Sutton better. I think he's more the guy that Russ is going to look for. Jerry Jeudy is going to be more of that Tyler Lockett, take the top off the defense guy. Sutton's going to be his main go-to. I love them season long, and I love them in this game. Like, give me Denver all over the place in this one.
Yes,
give me all of the Broncos.
All the Broncos, 100%. That being said, that's the last game.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, it's 12-16. We did all right, boys.
Not bad.
That's a lot of games to get through on the first week. So, anything else we want to get into before we say bye to everybody and have a good fantasy day and
happy kickoff day,
Man.
guys.
Yeah.
Hopefully you win your fantasy matchups, and if you're putting some money down, hopefully you win some of that back, and just hope it's a good day for you. Period.
Yep.
I hope that for every one of you who is sided with me and those of you against me, I hope you lose.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah. So, all right. Give us a like, a share, and a follow on our media, on our social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. You can find all of our podcasts on your favorite podcast provider. Check out our show on Tuesdays, Sports on Tap Detroit. We will be back this Tuesday with a new show at 7 p.m. Live. And we're gonna go over all.
Yeah, we'll unpack what happened this week.
Yeah, we'll basically unpack is a great word. We'll unpack what all transpired after we tried to tell you what might transpire.
And we will trash Notre Dame because that's going to be fun.
No, you will trash Notre Dame. You will trash Notre Dame. I will sit here sad.
I didn't even watch the game, so I can't tell you I'm going to trash them. But I will.
Yeah, you can.
I will enjoy watching Chris do it.
You can participate. It's as bad as it looks.
I'm gonna sit back and just enjoy that one. How's that?
And I'm gonna make fun of Texas fan because, yeah, you fucking lost, but stop with this narrative that you're back. You're not fucking back. Even if you won that game, you're not fucking back.
And I'm really excited.
Texas is back.
No, they're not.
Because it sounds like we might actually talk a little wrestling too.
We might.
Yes. That will definitely happen.
I think we're gonna have to. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's
with that shit show going.
I say if that's a work, that is the best work ever.
It's not a work.
It's not a work.
I've been sitting on that for almost 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
Not a work.
And I'm just like, God, I hope they bring it up because it doesn't do anything if I tell you to go look it up.
Yeah.
You've got to find out about this one.
Oh, it's a scene, man.
Oh, man.
Yep.
It's great.
We'll get into that and much more on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Tune in live at sotdet.com.
And buy a red hoodie.
On Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. But as you're at sotdet.com.
It's the only reason he brought it up. He just wanted it.
check out our shop and buy a red hooded sweatshirt, I guess.
Red hooded sweatshirt.
They're nice.
They are nice.
Anyway,
I concur with this.
So that brings us to the end of the show. Enjoy your football today. Enjoy the first Sunday in the NFL season. And hopefully you don't hate your fantasy team after today. And hopefully you don't hate your bank account after today either. Enjoy. Have fun. Peace out.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.